The University of South Dakota football team started and ended the year with the toughest schedule in the country. Our team experienced adversity challenges beyond the toughest schedule in the country through injuries and other adjustments, really that put us at a disadvantage all year long. Was this a season we had all hoped for? Of course not, and I think Bob would be the first to tell you this is not what we want Coyote football to be. Where this team won cannot be seen on a scoreboard. What Bob has done extremely well is compile an incredible group of young men that will represent themselves, their families, their communities, and this university extremely well. These players work hard in the classroom, well beyond a 3.0 GPA as a team, have been positive contributors in the locker room, campus, and community. I tell you these things because I've always believed that there's more to coaching than just what you see on a scoreboard. I do believe that this team has a very bright future, and we need to make sure we give them all the tools to be successful. Bob and I have identified several areas that need to be addressed, and we're going to provide this program the resources to be successful. This team competes in the best FCS conference in the country, and while we don't need to outspend everybody, we need to be more strategic about how we do that. We all believe in Bob and his ability to lead our team. That's me, our president, this department, and the university. He's won 2 national championships in his career, and we have 3 playoff appearances in the last 35 years here at USD, and Bob's responsible for 2 of those. With our support, we know we can achieve our goals of winning championships. That said, Bob will remain the head coach at the University of South Dakota for the foreseeable future, and we will be extending his contract.
Any questions for David?
Mr. Herbster, thank you for taking the time to speak with us. Why did you feel the need to make this announcement today right after a tough game?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think there's been enough speculation, both from the media, which has then translated into what you see in social media and on message boards, and I think that's really been damaging to the program when people are publicly questioning this program. And I think it's important that we do this, and we do this now for the sake of this coaching staff, for Bob, these players, the future of this program.
And then just maybe touch on Bob's ability to really connect with the players off the field just throughout a tough season.
Yeah, and he'd be the first to tell you, it's tough. Nobody likes losing. It's not, adversity like this does reveal character, and I think our guys have held their heads up. It's not easy like this, and he's, done all he can to not. It's probably one of the toughest, he could probably explain this better than I could, but one of the toughest coaching jobs he's had, seasons that he's had with everything that's been thrown at us, and to be able to remain positive, to kind of do multiple duties, lead the program, and everything that goes along with that, as well as jump right in the mix of being on the offensive side of the ball and trying to scheme, game plan, and call plays.
And will we have heard an announcement from you today, regardless of what the score of the game was today?
Yeah, that was our intention, to make this announcement regardless. I mean, because we're coming up on Thanksgiving, you're coming up on recruiting, you're coming up on all that. And of course, regardless of the outcome of the game, it was important that we make this statement now. I wish I was saying this with a big smile. I mean, maybe a lighter heart, but that's not the case. But it's times like this when we've got to stick together and rally.
Was there a moment of the season that you felt reaffirming to Bob was something that you needed to do?
I think when things like this happen, you really have to look at the program. It's not necessarily always the person, but what are we doing to be successful? How are we resourcing it? And I mean, today was indicative of we had a lot of injuries. We were playing a lot of young kids, and I feel like that's been what's happened to us all year long. I think it's also important that we make sure that we're doing absolutely everything that we can to provide this staff and these players the resources to be successful. And again, realizing that you're competing against the Dakota schools. You're competing, the hardest schedule in the country. So we have to make sure that we resource it. Our expectations match our resources.
You mentioned the hardest schedule in the country a couple times. Is it fair to say that this was never going to be the season that you're going to judge one person's ability to lead a team on?
Oh, I don't know about that. It certainly, I think, shows, the character and the quality of Bob. I mean, we can look at the final record and say, okay, that's not where we should have been. That's fine, but there's a lot of things that go into that. I think we all wish it was probably, reverse on that one, but it is what it is, you know? But it's also allowed us the time to really kind of take a deep dive into the program and determine what it is that we need to do.
When was the decision finalized?
Oh, I don't know if there's a timeline on that one. We just felt like now was the best time to make an announcement. Okay.
Thank you.
I'll start with you. Obviously, not the way that you want to end the season. Coming into this game, obviously, senior day, and wanted to go out strong. How you sort of, feel like the game progressed, and how did you sort of try to keep going in the end, even when the game got out of reach?
Yes, I mean the game kind of got out of hand. Just made too many mistakes. Like it's been said so far, I mean, playing with a lot of injuries on defense. I mean that's a common theme throughout the year. At one point, I mean we're down to a fifth string D end out there, a guy who was playing scout team during the week just due to pre-practice or pre-game stuff, and then injuries that happened in the first quarter of the game. That's something that our defense did an incredible job of working through, and I mean. I think you saw a UNI team that was coming off some confidence versus South Dakota State, and then they had a bye week to work on it. They just built that confidence up. They said, hey, we can go out there and we can put some things on the field, and they came out strong today. And then throughout the game, it's kind of been the mentality of this team the whole year is, a lot of stuff's happened to us throughout the year. We've had a lot of injuries. We've been put in some tough situations, but we're going to keep battling. So it wasn't a surprise to me to see guys out there fight until the very end.
Resume not being really part of the conversation for the last couple of weeks. I mean, how did the role of the seniors shift, from a couple of weeks ago to now?
It's all pride. How much do you hate losing? That's basically what it's about. The role of the seniors, I mean, we have an amazing group of seniors. I mean, there's 4 of us who started out here 6 years ago in June of 2017 coming together. And then we had 7 other dudes who came into the program, whether they were younger or transfer guys, who really built up the culture. And it was good, I think. We struggled early on, obviously, and I think that made some of those older guys who might not necessarily have been here for too long to realize that, hey, I need to be a leader in my position group. If they were a transfer into a position group, they realize, we need some leadership here. We're going through adversity. We had a tough beginning of the year, and that's it kind of changed after those first 4 games when you come out with 3 losses and a really tight loss to NDSU. Those guys realize that, hey, we need to step up. We need to start grinding. We need to start putting things in the right place.
Alex, similar question for you. I mean, obviously you're potentially playing for Valley honors in these last couple games. Have you noticed that some of your teammates, have sort of been playing those games almost for those players who have things on the table for their future?
I don't think anybody's really playing for any of that. It's more just for yourself at that point. For the guys that you work your butt off, your tail off, year-round, I don't think anybody is thinking about any of those honors. It's playing the game that you love. That's why.
What did you learn from this season?
Just keep swinging, no matter what. That'd be the biggest thing I learned.
Obviously, you guys both had long, good careers here. I mean, what were some of your reflections on, 4 years, 5 years, I guess? With,
5 years playing. I mean, I moved here, like I said, June 10th of 2017, so I've been here a while. I mean, reflecting on that, being with the guys, I guess, the amount of people you meet, I think it just prepares you so well for the future in the real world. I mean, you meet guys you like. I mean, it's just like everything else, every other job. You meet guys you mesh with, you meet guys you don't mesh with, but hey, we have the same goal in the end. So we need to get together, even if we're not necessarily best friends, and go out there and pursue the goal of trying to win a football game. So.
Yeah, just like he said, it's the people, not just your teammates, but all the resources that we have here at USD that take advantage of some of those people become your best friends too, and just the relationships you build over. If you're here for 5-6 years, it's bound to happen if you go for it. So it's all here for you at USD.
Just on offense there in the first quarter, 4 straight 3-and-outs. Just how frustrating was it just seeing UNI going down the field there while the offense just kind of struggled to get things going there early today?
It was frustrating for us as an offense because we wanted to keep our defense off the field, and we had gross mistakes like Dalton said, and we weren't capable of doing that today.
And then just for both of you, just with off the field, how has Coach Nielsen connected with each of you throughout your time here?
I mean, he's the only coach that had faith in me to play at this level, so it's the reason I'm here, and I wouldn't probably be playing Division I football without him. So.
Yeah. All right, and then just how do you see the program going into the future? Did you just feel like this season the odds were stacked against you just with the schedule to start out and just the way the season sort of unfolded?
Side, I think Dalton said it last night at the team meeting. We have a ton of talent, young guys with a ton of talent. Now we just need guys working hard, and just, I don't know, the program can go anywhere it wants to.
And then Dalton, obviously a frustrating game special teams wise last week. Just through the ebbs and flows of the season, just how has that room kind of stayed together through the season?
Yeah, so it kind of had to change a little bit. Once we made some coaching changes earlier this year, we split up some of the special team stuff. And that's kind of what we've been known for since I've been here is incredible special teams. And I think over the year, I think you saw the greatness. We had a few lapses in play last week, but I think overall, you look at the season, I mean, with a new punter coming in, John Bickle, you have Eddie Ogamba, who I don't think played his best football, but is a really good player. I think we showed how great guys like Wesley Elidor are, and then it's those guys on special teams that do a bunch of the dirty work that never get that recognition. So they know they're going out there. Nobody's going to call their name on the news or anything like that, but they're going out there trying to allow Wesley and guys like John to make plays and get their name in the newspaper. And then I'll answer your last question about Coach Nielsen. He's done a lot for this program and for me. I mean, he knew coming into my family that he was coming into hostile territory, being from Cedar Falls, and so he had to go out and promise me stuff, and he was a man of his word through and through, and he gave me all the opportunities that I could have in order to be great, and he pushed me to a level that I don't think I would have reached anywhere else. So I'm glad to hear the announcement that was made today, because I think it'll be good for a lot of people going forward to be able to be pushed by a man like Coach Nielsen.
Well, first of all, let me just start by saying I appreciate Dave Herbster's comments, the support, the confidence that he and President Gestring, as well as the entire USD community has demonstrated. Obviously, this isn't the season that we wanted. You heard from two outstanding young men that. I wish could have went out with a win. Wish could have went out with the winning season. But I'll tell you what, been doing this a long time, and got a lot more wins than I've got losses. But the opportunity to work with those kinds of people. That's what makes coaching pretty darn unique. And you saw two of the best right there. So, as far as the game today, really disappointing. And I can tell you one thing. As I've talked to people this week and the last couple weeks. Our record may not show it. And it's been a disappointing year in some other ways as well, but it hasn't deterred at all my belief and my commitment to win a championship here at the University of South Dakota. Now we got work to do, and I think today's game showed. Although I got to give UNI a lot of credit. Honestly, I think they're playing as well as anybody in the league right now. And probably have over the second half of the season. They had South Dakota State in an opportunity to win the game 2 weeks ago, and they played very, very well today, did all the things that they needed to do to win, and the things that we needed to do to win, we didn't execute very well today, and so the results ended up lopsided on the scoreboard. But certainly excited about the future, where we can go. And as I told our team in the locker room, I said, we got some fuel now. I mean, that score, if that doesn't fuel you into the off season, then you're in the wrong place. And we want guys that the taste in their mouth that they have right now, they don't want to taste again.
That taste in their mouth. How did you like how players fought through, even though it just became, it kind of was snowballed today, just with how quickly the game got out of hand?
Yeah, I don't think our guys ever quit. We kept going. We didn't execute as well as we needed to, and then we had some things where we knew going into the game they were playing really well offensively. We were going to have to keep drives alive. And then when you go 3 and out, your first 3 possessions, and not only that, then we turned the ball over a couple times and had a really hard time getting you and I off the field. And so the next thing the game has flipped on you pretty quickly. And so we probably, look back on it and, from a coaching standpoint, we need to plan better. We're gonna show that we needed to play better. But our guys, kept giving effort, and that's the minimum. It's the minimum that you expect, and our guys certainly met all the minimums. We've got to be better, and we will be better.
Were you surprised that they just came out so quickly with that downfield passing game down the seam today?
Yeah, the quarterback's really good, and they've got some good perimeter players. We've been having to shuffle a few guys around in the secondary with some of the injuries that we had. As you guys are well aware, Miles Harden hasn't played, for 5 weeks now, and we lost Dennis Shorter here a couple weeks ago. Dennis was actually, playing at a high level, and, Josh Manchagaya came back, but, and give him a lot of credit. He tried to battle today playing, maybe at best, 80%, but he wanted to finish on the field, and so, yeah, I think it was a combination of them playing well, them executing. They did have 2 weeks to prepare. That's an advantage this time of year because you're able to get some guys back and work on some things specific from a game planning standpoint, and they executed really, really well. And we came off that hard loss at North Dakota, and I think our guys were excited to be back home, but we didn't have maybe quite as much gas in the tank as we needed today.
Just one more thing for me. Stephen Hillis has in our 10 tackles or so today to get his total to, I believe, 111 or somewhere around there for the season. Just with him and Brock and just their contribution, they've been able to keep that inside linebacking core solid there. Just to talk about their impact on the program.
Yeah, I talk about Dalton and Alex being tremendous young men. There's another 2 tremendous young men, that not only are good football players, but they're leaders. They do everything right, represent this program and this university in a tremendous way. And it's been great to see Stephen have the year that he's had, for a guy that, a year ago maybe got on the field a little bit in special teams, stepped to the plate and play at the level that he's played. Excited that we've got the ability to get him back for another year and see him continue to build on this season.
Young players have been mentioned a couple times. What are some of the building blocks that I guess you're most excited about moving forward that maybe are clouded a little bit by some of the losses?
Well, I think young players, when they get a chance to play, they realize how good you have to be to win in this league. And You hope that becomes a driving force, behind them to continue to do the things that they've got to do to improve individually. And if they do that, then great things happen for your program collectively. And so, yeah, we had another number of younger players that some were ready to play, maybe some weren't quite ready to play, but had to play. And that experience has the opportunity to make them better and hopefully make them hungrier.
Was there parts of the season that you weren't sure that you'd be a part of building those young players in the future?
Like I said, I've been doing this a long time and love what I do. Honestly, I don't think a lot about that kind of stuff. The important pieces now, college football has changed a lot in 30 years. And some of the discussions that, I've had with Dave and are about, hey, it's important from a standpoint that recruiting, we obviously have some staffing, decisions that we've got to make, moving forward here. And all of that stuff in terms of the university's, commitment to a head coach are important. This transfer portal has changed college football forever. And so, the conversations that I've had were just on the importance of that moving forward for the future of our program. And like I said, I love this place. I think it's a really unique place because of the people and the passion that those people have. And if there's one thing that I'm disappointed in, regarding this year is, we didn't give those people enough to cheer about. So I can guarantee you this, I'm going to work as hard as I can and keep working as hard as I can to make sure that not only we represent this program the way that it needs to be represented and this university the way it needs to be represented, but also that we continue to drive to winning on the field and winning a championship.
It sounds like this announcement was in reaction to some noise outside of the team. Did that have any emotional effect on you?
I don't read chat rooms. I don't pay any attention to that stuff. I pay attention to the people that matter, and the people that matter are obviously the people that are going to support you, the administration, and those people that are invested, from a booster and support standpoint, and most of all players. If I ever thought at any point in time that I couldn't help get this program to where I think it could be, I'd be the first one to tell you that. But we've got the opportunity to do something special here. I think we've got people in the right place. Not that we don't have our own, as Dave talked about. We've got some areas that we need to continue to look at and continue to find ways to improve. But that's part of everybody being on the same page. And that means now for us as a staff, we're out trying to make sure that we bring in a group of guys to add to the guys that we've got in our program right now that are going to continue to set a high standard and going to be the kind of guys that can win a Missouri Valley Conference football championship.
Are there aspects of this reaffirmation and trust in you that energize you in a certain way?
Yeah, sure. You always want to hear that people appreciate what you're doing. I think, but, I guess trying to figure out how to put this, but maybe seeing Dalton Godfrey get choked up. That's the appreciation that's really important in this business. Obviously, I apologize, you know, it's been, not only is it senior day, it's been kind of an emotional week. For me and some other ways. And so, yeah, I got a lot of stuff going through my mind right now, but excited. Yeah, couldn't be more excited about being here at the University of South Dakota, and couldn't be more excited about the future, and couldn't be more excited. This one's going to sting for a while, but we'll put this one behind us. And as I told the group in the locker room, we got to use this one to make us better. Yeah.